now, but we had something come up today. And we're going to do this every now and then because I can't always be at the studio. Russ can't always be at the studio. But we want to be able to bring you the news and stuff and discuss what's going on in the world of football. So I have Russ with me. He's there in South Carolina, North Carolina. Which Carolina is it?
I'm in North and South, but I've had such bad predictions. I'm actually living on my car right now, so people
Yes.
can't notice me.
So we never know where Russ is going to be. He's kind of like a nomad. So, he'll be here, he'll be there, he'll be everywhere. But anyway, so we wanted to touch base on this because today Tom Brady announced his retirement again, February 1st, 2023. He announced his retirement last time on February 1st, 2022. So he's consistent. So we want to discuss this and we want to talk about, is Tom Brady going to stay retired this time? And I'm going to let Russ take this one first, and I'll give you my opinion on that. So, what do you think?
I'll go short and sweet to the point. I'll believe it when I see it. This guy did this, last year? He announced his retirement, and then closer as the football season began, he came out of retirement and played another season with Tampa Bay. But if you go back and look at the game in the playoff game when Tampa Bay played, he did not look good at all. I
Right.
really think that age is really starting to catch up with him now. And I think maybe he realizes that, you know what? What else is there for me to prove? I've won all these multiple Super Bowls, multiple MVP awards. So me personally, I'll believe it when I see it. But if I'm Tom Brady, I am retiring. I mean, there's nothing else left for me to prove. I mean, I've done everything that there is to be done in the NFL. He's had a great career. Definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. Probably one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. And after watching him play in Tampa Bay, I just don't think that he's not the same Tom Brady that we know. So for
Right.
me, I believe when I see Tom.
I think we lost you, Russ.
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, okay. Okay, my bad. Okay. I think he stays retired this time. I think he realizes last year didn't go very well, and I think he wants to just be done with this. I'd be very surprised if he comes back. If he does come back, he's not coming back with Tampa Bay. I do know that. But and maybe somebody will be able to talk him out of it. But he's got a pretty good gig waiting for him at CBS, I believe it is, or one of them channels. Although I don't know if he's going to be able to do that job. Honestly, that's going to be something to watch. We'll see how that all goes. But I do. I kind of think he's done, and he should be. You're right. He didn't look very good this year in a lot of cases, and it's time. Go enjoy your life and everything else, and do your football broadcasting. Now, I got to ask you a question, Russ. Did you see that clip of Tony Romo during the game last? You got to look this up. During the game last Sunday, I listened to it like 4 times, and it does sound. And it's funny because he says three. There was 3 guys surrounding a player. It was I can't remember who the players were, but it sounded like Tony Romo used the N word. Was about to use the N word. Not even kidding.
Oh, I would
Did you
hope
see
not.
that
I
clip?
mean, I did not,
You got to
but I'm
see this
sure
clip.
I probably can get it. I'm hoping that's certainly not the case. I'm hoping maybe it's just a misunderstanding or whatever the case may be. But I'm hoping that didn't happen.
Right. I
I
watched.
think Tony Romo, he's a great commentator. I think he teams up well with Jim Nance,
Right.
and I think he's I just love listening to him and how he breaks down the games and all that. So I'm hoping that what you just brought up here live on our show, I'm hoping that that's just maybe a misunderstanding.
Right. I watched it like 5 times just because I
What do you
wanted.
think?
Uh, I don't want. I'm kind of like you. Even though I watched it 5 times, I'm like, come on. I just don't see Tony like that. But it's like he's got 3 guys surround him. He says, and this is exactly how he says. And he says, and he's running the ball, and then 3 in it, and he stops, and then goes somewhere else with it. I mean, I don't think it's enough to get him fired or anything else like that stuff. But I'll tell you what, there was three players around him. They were all black, and it was not good. But yeah, go watch it and tell me, and you let me know what you think. We'll talk about that another time. Another thing we didn't bring up last time, and I did want to bring this up, is the fact that in this Super Bowl, for the first time ever, we're going to have two black quarterbacks and stuff. And the reason I bring this up, I know a lot of people are going to say, yeah, that's great. Let's just move on, all this other stuff. Well, most of these people didn't face what the black quarterbacks faced in the 60s and the 70s. Ever heard of Marlon Briscoe?
Oh yeah, former
Marlon
Buffalo
Briscoe
Bill.
was a quarterback with the Denver Broncos one year in 1968. He
Hmm.
broke the rookie record of touchdown passes with 14. It was the only year he was a quarterback, because the next year they replaced him with a now he was a black quarterback with a guy by the name of Litsky. Marlon Briscoe ended up going to the Buffalo Bills. He never got a chance to
Right,
be quarterback again. And apparently he would have been pretty good. Now, Buffalo, to their credit, they had another guy, James Harris, who was a black quarterback who did play for the Bills and did start, and he also started with the Rams. So Marlon Briscoe might be the reason, but it turned him into a wide receiver, and he was really good. And the reason I bring that up is because in the 60s, 70s, even in the 80s, it was very difficult. Warren Moon had issues getting into the NFL. It was very difficult to get into the NFL. So this is a big thing. It is. It's like if you go back to the 70s, I'm sure there'd be people be like, we'll never see it. And well, we are seeing it. And I think it's progress. I think it's good to see. And I think they're both phenomenal football players, more so than even being a black quarterback. They're phenomenal. And, yeah, I think you know how I feel about Patrick Mahomes. I think he's the best quarterback in the NFL. And Jalen
right.
Hurts is really moving up. He's really moving up. So, do you have anything on that?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's great to see the NFL, get that right, and I think it's really exciting to have two really good Black African quarterbacks in the Super Bowl this year. And the only thing, though, as I mentioned on our show last night, um, I just don't think Kansas City is healthy enough to compete with the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, the Eagles
No.
are just they're just a step above everyone right now, and the Eagles are relatively healthy in this game going into the Super Bowl, where Kansas City is not. A lot of their key players, as you mentioned yesterday on the show, they're hurt. So I'm excited there's two black African quarterbacks in the game. I just wish that
African
maybe
American.
Kansas City was, yeah, black African, American quarterbacks. I was just, the only thing I'd like to see maybe is, you know, Kansas City maybe be a little bit more healthier. And, gosh, what type of Super Bowl would that be? That would be a really exciting Super Bowl. But where Kansas City is right now, health wise with the team, I just don't think that they're ready to face the Eagles. And I just don't think, the Eagles are going to blow them away. I just don't see the game being close.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
the previous Super Bowl games, they've been fun, exciting, and down to like to the last minute. But this game, I just don't see this game to be close because of Kansas City's health with their players on their
Right.
team.
Except they do have the Patrick Mahomes factor. I mean, that is one thing you got to
Right.
consider. But
Yeah.
yeah, as you know, I'm sticking with the Eagles on this one as well. But yeah, so really, I just wanted to make sure we got covered Brady and stuff like that. Sean Payton being hired. We got and Houston actually made a hire for their head coaching position. D'Amico Ryans, who played for the Houston Texans. He has
That's a
left the
great hire.
Yeah, I think so. He left the Denver Broncos. I'll tell you what, I don't know why somebody wouldn't want that Houston job. They got a high draft pick. They're going to be able to get a quarterback. And this is a quarterback league. Now, I do question. I know everybody's in love with the kid from Alabama. Everybody, Bryce Young. My thing with him is his size. He's 6 foot tall. That kind of scares me a little bit. He's not really. He can run, but he's not Josh Allen. He's not Patrick Mahomes. So and as believe me, the Texans, I actually have a little bit of affinity for them. A good friend of mine played for them. His name was Chris Brown, and we became friends. And we actually, when he was up here in Buffalo playing the Bills, he actually got us tickets and everything else. But also, as you know, I grew up in Texas, and I've always been. I've got my Houston teams that I root for. I Bryce Young scares me if I'm a Texans fan. Really scares me. And the one from Ohio State, again, there's some question marks on him as well. But we'll have to. What's his name? I can't remember right now. You
Gosh, I'd
remember?
have to go back and look. Yeah, I have to go back and look on at the Ohio State because we've been so busy with the NFL. But I know like we'll be covering the draft and all that. So
Right.
um, yeah, but definitely I think this year's NFL draft for quarterbacks. There's maybe a few that that maybe could turn into be franchise quarterbacks. But I want to go back to the draft that Josh Allen came out of. All those great quarterbacks came out of, and
Right.
all those quarterbacks are still playing. And then they're like the franchise quarterbacks of the teams. I don't think the NFL will ever see another draft where you have all those superstar quarterbacks come out of college and start right away and turn their teams around. So it'd be interesting to see how what comes up next in college for quarterbacks.
Right, right. Yeah, I can't, I'm trying to remember his name, and I can't for the life of me. And I watched him play so many times. But anyway, so I just want to cover some of these things, guys. Like and subscribe our page. We really would appreciate that. We want to build this show for the fans and for everybody else. But Russell, other than that, I want you to have a good day out there, and everybody be safe and take care.